All right, all right, all right. Guess what, everybody? It is FEM Talk Tuesday. Welcome back to another episode of FEM Talk, where tonight we are talking about time to grow or time to go when it comes to work. So, you guys, I'm just going to show you, first of all, before I let the ladies in, I just wanted to give you that website again to go on to www.wenextshima.com to donate to the cause. She is going to Africa in January to help the beautiful young ladies of Kenya, taking mentors from here to Kenya. So I want you guys to support her in those efforts. All right. So we'll be showing you guys that again next week. But let me let the ladies in because we got some good stuff to talk about as usual tonight. So we have Brandy the Connector,
Hello.
Shima Shishi Talks,
Hello.
and Melissa Girl Bossed Up.
Hey, everyone.
So, you guys, tonight we are talking about time to grow or time to go. Now, if you guys don't know me out there, this is a subject that is quite near and dear to my heart because I actually decided to go back in March of this year, 2021. Yes, even in the midst of a pandemic, I stepped out on faith and decided to leave my employer and the industry that I had been in for over 20 plus years. Woo, scary. Talk about scary. It was scary. It definitely was. I'm going to just tell the truth and be transparent here because I was used to it. I was comfortable. I knew what I was doing. I'm going to say that I was a corporate beast, to be perfectly honest with you. But listen, when God tells you to move, it is time to move. Okay. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that because I do want to talk about that journey a little bit, but just want to bring the ladies in to see what their thoughts are on this subject, time to grow or time to go. Hit it, Brandy.
Well, I had my very own It's Time to Go experience. Going on 4 years now. It'll be 4 years, September 29th, that I've been free of traditional employment.
Woo.
And there was a lot of growth prior to that final decision and that final opportunity to go rather than see if it's going to get better. I had 10 years of it getting worse and worse and worse. So it finally came a time that I was like, you know what? The family that I want to start and be home for, and as well as other things that I work on in the background, depend on me being available and not completely stressed out, worn out, hopeless, defeated, to get things done. So
Mhm.
my husband put me in a position that I could get out, and I did. And I feel like I probably left a lasting impact before I headed out as well.
Yes, and I love that. Leave that impact on your way out the door. That is so key. I love that because listen, guys, do not burn your bridges, right? Do your best up until the day that you walk out the door. Make them want you back, even if you don't want to go back, okay?
That's
Always
right.
do your best. Always show up as the best version of yourself. You never know where you'll end up or what you want to do later, but you never burn those bridges. So take it away, Shima. I'm gonna save you for last, Mimi.
um, I guess my time to go moment. Because I gotta say I've had time to grow, as I'm still having time to grow
Mm,
moments. My time to go moment was maybe what's today? It's been about 6 years now. I
mm,
was super comfortable. I was in a job, a company that I'd been in for almost 20 years.
mm,
There were quite a few time to go moments. So I moved around in a lot of positions, learned
mm,
a lot of things, and got real comfortable
mm,
and was able to just manipulate my time and my offering as far as vacation and stuff to suit me.
mhm,
But I was not working in my purpose.
mm.
I
That's
wasn't,
good.
I don't think that I was growing.
Mhm,
Um, but I was super comfortable. And for me, it was almost like a safety net. And
mhm,
my time to go was when God said, "Oh, you think
mhm,
that job is your safety net.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna snatch it away.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn today.
Yes,
Yeah.
you
So
are going to learn today.
we are gonna learn today. So the good thing about it is it gave me time to be a full-on entrepreneur, which I was
Mm,
always while I worked and maintained a full-time job.
mhm,
Still am,
mhm,
but it taught me about the freedom of
mm,
making my own choices,
mhm,
choosing how long to stay,
mm,
what to stay for,
mm,
what how to work. And I shouldn't even say how to work because I always brought, like you said, a high level of work ethic with me, no
mhm,
matter what I did or where
mhm.
I went. But it just taught me you get to choose.
Yeah, yeah. So
Choose.
listen to that. Listen to what she's saying here because okay, so Shima just talked about like having those moments where it was time to go throughout the company that she had been with for over 20 years and how she decided to move around. Listen, she gained some great experience from moving
Absolutely.
around that company and got some great exposure.
Mhm.
But like she said, when God said it's time to go, it's time to go. When he's saying that you need to know who you're supposed to be leaning on, and when I'm telling you to move, you
That's right.
move. But then you also said something so key there too about being able to go into that full entrepreneur space and understand that freedom. But then you
Absolutely.
also it's almost like you were saying you kind of understood yourself even a little bit more so that when you went to
Mhm.
the next place you really knew how you wanted to not you always had the high level of work ethic but how you wanted to show up for you even in the next workspace. So I
Absolutely.
love that you said that. So we're going to go over to Mimi now. Tell us, Mimi, what you think about this subject.
Wow. I mean, for me, it's so on point currently in my life. I'm making that decision currently.
Mm,
I had a real big opportunity a couple of months ago, and I decided to stay.
mm,
And I think it's all about timing, and more importantly, God's timing.
mhm,
And for your life, because there's a lot of voices, a lot of noise
mhm,
that will tell you one thing or another.
mhm,
There's a lot of you know, things that you hear from other people or you see somebody else, you know, even looking at somebody like you and Brandy wanting that kind of a lifestyle, but even maybe you're not ready for it, you're not there for it, you're not in a position for it.
mhm.
So it's really coming up with those kind of moments in your life to really understand yourself,
Yeah.
understand where you are in life,
Yeah.
and most importantly, hear God.
Mhm.
Meaning, irrespective. I know one of the people that really spoke into my life over the last few weeks, and she said, "That's a lot of noise." She
Mm.
said, "You need to ignore the noise,
Yeah.
and you need to focus on what the plan is for you." And
Yes.
when I went back to the plan, and oddly enough, one of the people who reminded me of the plan was one of the people that worked for me.
Mhm.
And she said, "Miss Simmons, if you don't remember 5 years, 4 years ago when you came, you said, in 5 years, I probably won't be here anymore."
That's right.
Wow. Look at
And,
that.
and she remembered it
Mhm.
4 years ago, what I said.
Right.
She said it, it reminded me, it was that voice that came to quiet the noise
Mhm.
Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
say that this is the plan. And what she
Mhm.
reminded me of was the timing, meaning, you have to be in the right time. So she said, you said 5. And
Mhm.
I was and I'm into 4. And I didn't say 5 just for show. It
Right.
was part of my life plan that had the 5.
That's right.
So I
Ah.
was speaking it into existence. So I said, oh, it's not time.
Mhm.
It's not time.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's knowing the timing for everything, and being comfortable with whatever decision to leave or to stay.
Yeah, yeah. So look at this. I wanted to put this up here because I had this in actually in my house in New Jersey. I want to get it made again because it actually got damaged. But make time for the quiet moments as God whispers and the world is loud. So I
Yes.
always resonated with this because at the time, same time that I was deciding that I was going to go. And let me tell you something, it was over a 7 year span. Okay. The number seven, too, is not a mistake. I just want to say that, too, if you guys know what that number means, right? The number seven is the number of completion.
Yeah.
So I just want to, but this always resonated with me because there were so many times where I was like, I need to go, I need to go, but it wasn't my time. I wasn't ready. You know what I
Right.
mean? Whether it was finances or family, whatever it was, I just wasn't ready. But I had to quiet that noise that Melissa just talked about. And I always went back to this. And I had this hanging in my bathroom because where I could find my quiet moments was in my bathroom, right? This is real, especially when you have kids, right? It's real. You
Right.
got to take some time to just go in the bathroom. The bathroom is a great place to meditate, to think, you know what I mean, to just get away. So I had it in my bathroom for that reason. But I just wanted to put that up there because I just love it.
Yes.
And you just reminded me of that when you talked about the noise, as you are going through this process now and thinking about your timing. But trust God in all of it. Hey, Dr. Kai is here with us tonight. Hey, Dr. Kai, thank you for
Good
joining. Enjoyed
evening.
having you on the show last week. Thank you,
It
thank
was
you, thank
great.
you. It was a great show. So Dr. Kai definitely has to come back because she is a woman who is on the move and doing so much. So she definitely has
Yes.
to come back. But thank you for joining
Definitely.
us. So we are talking tonight, you guys, about time to grow or time to go.
Oh.
You
So
know
there's
what?
so many.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead, Shima.
I was gonna say, you know what? Also, Melissa said that it wasn't her time, and
Mhm,
you have to get your stuff ready, get
mhm,
yourself ready.
mhm,
Right.
And that would mean knowing yourself and knowing that it's not time.
mhm.
But when you figure that out, that's the exact moment when you start putting those blocks in.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm not here.
True.
So, okay, what do I need to get there? I need to
yeah,
get my finances straight. I need to
yeah,
get my credit straight. I
yeah.
need to
That's
figure out
great.
what I want to do, what
Mhm,
makes me happy, what
mhm.
makes me want to do it
Yeah,
without getting paid, if that's what you are looking to do. If you're looking for
Mm.
purpose, you would do it without the money. You
yeah.
would do it
Mhm.
without the wherewithal, without the ability. You would
Mhm,
just do it from
mhm.
the inner parts of you, the goodness of your heart.
Yeah,
So you want to put those blocks together, those pieces, those puzzle pieces together while you're preparing and
yeah.
understanding when it's time to go and time or time to grow.
That's so
Yeah.
And
good.
growing.
That piece is very important
Yes.
Yeah,
because
that piece
that
is.
was my process.
Mhm,
It took me 2.5 years to be in a position to take that next step out of traditional
Yeah.
employment,
mhm,
and it was me. My husband brought the idea of eBay to my attention, so I started
mhm,
learning about eBay, and then we found different resources to buy stuff in order to sell.
Nice.
And it took 2.5 years for me to learn the things I needed to learn, and adapt the skills necessary to be able to
Right.
consistently be able to purchase items to resell to hit a certain income level.
yeah.
So by the time I left, we had a $2,500 a month safety net just off of what I learned to do using eBay. Am I
Exactly.
passionate
Yeah.
about
Exactly.
eBay? Absolutely not. But the things I've become passionate about because I used eBay as a tool
Mm,
has been immense in many
True.
areas of life. So
yeah.
Yes.
that being patient is extremely important. If especially if you're the only person generating significant income in your household,
Mhm,
Okay.
that patience
Good
mhm.
piece is
point.
extremely important. I
Yeah.
am fortunate enough to have a husband that will do whatever is necessary for us to
That's right.
keep it moving forward as far as finances and different opportunities and things go.
Yeah.
But not everybody has that. And you always keep in mind who's depending on you to step up.
Mhm.
And if you're going to step out of that full time job, make sure you have a plan and make sure if you're somebody that functions based on how you feel at any given moment,
Mhm.
you better get that mess under control.
Yeah. Yes.
Because you can't just wake up and say I don't feel like it one
I'm
day
done.
as a
Right.
full time entrepreneur.
That's right.
Yeah. And
You have
not
to have
not
a plan. You have to have a specific routine that keeps your things running, whether you're there or not, because the
Yeah.
point of entrepreneurship is to eventually put yourself in a position that somebody else is running it and you just check it in.
That's right. That's right. And I love that you said that, right? So get yourself ready, you guys. And I have to admit, right? Except when it comes to business, I'm a super impulsive person, right? Or was. I can't really necessarily say that I am so much anymore, but I definitely was, except for business, right? That's where I had my sound mind, so to speak. So like I said earlier, it took me 7 years to get to that point because I had to think about the finances and I had to think about my son. And not for nothing, my mindset was not in the right place because I was a corporate woman for a very long time. I was
Right,
raised to be one. So I was one before I even got into corporate America because I
right.
was raised to be one. And then when I got there, I was one for over 20 years. So it's like having to change that mindset to think about now being a full time entrepreneur. And then, you talked about eBay and learning how to work it. Go out there, get some skills, you guys, right?
Yes.
Certifications, more education, learn what you need to learn for your next steps, whatever it is. So Shima talked about figuring out what you want to do. And if you're going to walk in purpose, and Brandy just talked about learn some skills, right? Go get the skills that you need, whatever those resources are that you need to help you get there before you actually make that move. So make that a part of your plan. So you guys, we are going to take a short commercial break. We are going to come back because we got a special segment for you with our very own Brandy the Connector. We are coming back with Tech Connect with Brandy the Connector. All right. So we're going to go into this commercial break. And then, you guys, we will be right back.
Yay.
Tell people when they're trying to really get focused and productive to ignore the hey bros because they're low priority. Your motivation, create your checklist, and then that's the formula, man.
Hey everyone, we are back with FEM Talk. I'm going to let the ladies come back in. We actually have Brandy the Connector, Tech Connect with Brandy the Connector coming on next. But I love how that commercial it really applies to what we're talking about tonight, right? He's basically talking about having your plan, right? And he was saying in that commercial, don't wait for something to happen. So I just love how things are aligned because I just showed that commercial, but it applies to what we're talking about tonight. So I'm going to actually let our very own Brandy come in. I know she got some good stuff for us tonight. So here we go. Take it away, Brandy.
Hey everyone, you know me as Brandy the Connector. So we have a segment now called Tech Connect with the Connector. And tonight I want to present a simple solution to a problem that I was having because I found out that newer laptops are coming with less and less USB ports. So if you know, like I know, sometimes we have multiple things we need to plug into the computer, but newer laptops are only coming with like 2 ports now. So the solution that I found is a USB extender, which I actually found on Amazon. And a little bit later, Tracy's actually going to drop the link to get you one of these if you are encountering the same problem that I was having. So with 2 ports, I have multiple cameras, multiple mics that I use for various different things, as well as having to plug my computer in for, just my mouse dongle. In order to use this thing, I need to use at least 1 port. If you got 2 ports, at least it was just 1, right? So this little thing comes with a USB cable that you plug into the end. So this one has actually 7 USB ports on it. You see them? So what I really like about this one is you can actually cut each one on and off as you need them. So you can leave everything plugged in, and if your laptop is currently running on a battery, it won't drain your battery because you have everything on at once. You only cut on the things that you need to use in that moment, cut them off when you're not using them. So this thing's very simple to use. You don't actually have to download any software or anything with it. So you just plug it up, plug up whatever tools and resources you need to use by extending your USB cable, and then you're good to go. So this has been an excellent fix for some of my needs, and hopefully you guys will make use of it as well. So I believe I got this for like $11 or $12. It was like really cheap, but an awesome solution to my problem. So that is this week's installment of Tech Connect, and this is going to be a monthly series. Next week, I believe you guys get to see either Shima or Melissa's segment. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be freaking phenomenal.
Yay! So before we bring the other ladies back in, I just want to show the actual website here that Brandy was talking about, where you can actually grab your USB port connect. And I love that, Brandy, that you don't have to have everything on all at one time. Don't blow anything, you guys. So what you don't need, turn it off. So here
exactly.
tinyurl.com, more USB ports. Go there, get yours today so that you can be well connected. All right, we are going to bring the other ladies in. Thank you to the fabulous Brandy, the connector, for that wonderful Tech Connect. We'll be looking for that again next month. And next week, we actually have Melissa Girl Bossed Up coming on to talk to you next week. All right, so here we go. We got Shima Shishi Talks and Melissa Girl Bossed Up coming back in. Thank you, Brandy. That was excellent.
There you go.
Right.
That was a good
Comments out there. All right. Drop in the comments, Brandy, please. Every guy is asking for that.
There you go.
I told everybody with this individual switches. That was like, what?
Yeah.
This is how I became the connector. I find solutions to problems that most people don't have time to figure out. And say, okay, well,
you got that right. Literally. I text my husband during the break, help, I need to connect my phone. He ran behind and said
I've actually found a way to use an Android device as a webcam.
I love it. I love it. Thank you.
Love it. So Brandy's going to be sharing all these good tricks and tips for us to stay connected. And if you're not a techie like me, you always call Brandy like, help. So Brandy does a whole lot for us here on the show, you guys, just so you know. She keeps us rocking and rolling. So thank you, Brandy, for that. We love you. We absolutely love you. So ladies, guess what? We are talking about time to grow or time to go. All right. So Melissa, I know you had some good stuff for us on this tonight. So take it away.
Take it away. One of the things, and all of you talked about this, and I'm a big person to always have, tips and like, how do you locate yourself? Mm-hmm. And one of the things I found online are 7 ways to kind of locate yourself. Is it time to go or is it time to grow? Mm-hmm. 1, if it's time for you to go, are you improving? Mm-hmm. Can you determine, are you improving in your job? Mm-hmm. Number 2, is the company's future looking good for you? Mm-hmm. Meaning all these companies are transitioning, especially now in COVID. So is their future looking good for you? Is it time to go or grow? Mm-hmm. Do you respect your boss? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a big one.
That's a good
one. What we've learned is that people will work a job, but they'll stay for a right leader. Mm-hmm. They'll give themselves for a right leader. So do you respect your boss? It's a big piece. Mm-hmm. Are you severely undervalued? I think Brandy, you talked about that. They didn't value your talent. Mm-hmm. So if you find that you're in a job that they don't even know what talents you bring to the table or give you the opportunity to use them, maybe that's a sign. Yeah. I think you also mentioned, I think all 3 of you mentioned passion. Mm-hmm. Are you finding or fulfilling your passion in your current job? Yeah. For me, that is like a game changer. You should always be and I know back in the day, a lot of us went into careers based on money and not based on passion.
Yeah.
Now we're in a season of passion. Do you fit into the culture of your job? A lot of us, especially some of us brown people, culture is really big. You
Yeah.
know, I heard a lot of people saying, I can't wear my hair. You know, one of the things I started doing was wearing my hair naturally. Is your culture, is it the right culture for you in this season, especially now as this country, as this world are experiencing so many different things? And then last but not least, do you want something else? Do you really feel yourself being drawn to something different in this? I think Shima, you mentioned that you know you was being drawn to another stage in your life, you know, in regards to your job. So I think just off the top of my head, you know, just not top of my head, but those are some things I found. But one of the last things I want to share is one of the things I'm reading, Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. A lot of us, you know, we've been reading her books, and she's just blowing up on the scene now. Wonderful author and speaker. But one of the things she said was, when we have the courage to walk into our own stories and own it, we get to write the ending.
Yeah.
Right.
And the question becomes, are you writing your ending now? Are you owning your own story?
Yes.
And I think that these are questions we need to ask. And I think that you heard all of us say, like, the time period to start asking these questions and setting it up. Mine was 5 years ago. Shima talked about a 2-year span. Tracy, you talked about a 7-year span. We need to see how we're going to write that ending and start coming up with a plan to walk into our own purpose.
Yeah. Oh, this is so good. So I have so much from this, from all of the 7 things that you mentioned, right? Because I can remember going through certain stages where I was supposed to move, right? But I just didn't. So one, I had my son, right? And God showed me just something completely different, how my life was supposed to be different. And what I was after and what I desired changed as soon as I had him, because my heart changed when I had my son. So then I kept going through this process, and I was like, okay, God, what am I doing here? What am I supposed to be doing? And I can remember leaving one company that I really loved. I loved the company. I loved the management. Everything about it was great. The pay was amazing. Everything about it was great. But what I noticed was that company was not keeping up with the industry. So, and then I thought God was really telling me to move in a different way. But I thought, okay, I'm supposed to leave this company because they're not growing in the way that they should in this particular industry. But then I went to another company and I could not stand the manager professionally. Here's the thing, though. I liked him personally, but I did not like him professionally. He was a very difficult person to work with, and we both had strong personalities. So it made it really hard for us to come together. We respected each other, though. We definitely did, but he was not the right manager for me. You know what I mean? So then I went to another company and I'm like, God, I need a break. I need a break. And then the break came in the form of breast cancer, right? But that was just all a part of part of God telling me, I told you that I got you. And you're still being hard-headed. So in my mind was not ready, though. My mindset was not ready. My heart was there, but my mind was not ready to take me there. So I just remember going through a few of those different phases of what you just talked about. So I know Shima, it looked like you had something to say before I started. So go take it away.
You know, I was just making sure. I wanted to make sure that we, you know me, I got to get on both sides. So not everybody is built to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
When I talked about 3 years, I was already one when I was with the 20-year company. In that 3-year span that I was unemployed, I say unemployed because I thought that was my safety net. I worked on everything that was not coming from someone else. It was definitely so it didn't, and you know, in those moments, because they're hard, it's hard. It is hard. I don't want you to think, oh, I'm done with this job. I'm going to find my passion. It's going to be wonderful. So when you're in it, you may have moments when you're thinking, okay, and maybe entrepreneurship is not for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Mm.
may be true because not
Mm-hmm.
everybody is built for it.
Yeah.
Brandy said that earlier.
Yeah.
This is the thing, though. It doesn't mean that you stay in the job that's not fulfilling, that you feel
Mm-hmm.
like you're not contributing, that they're not
Mm-hmm.
feeding you and growing you, and you're
Mm-hmm.
not feeding and growing them.
Mm-hmm.
My main objective, no matter where I am, because what my purpose is in
Mm-hmm.
life is to serve.
Mm.
I
Mm-hmm.
can serve
Right.
anywhere.
That's
I
good.
can serve in my old job.
Yeah.
I can serve in my own business. I can
Yeah.
serve in the current job I'm in. Once it no longer suits my heart
Mm.
and
Mm.
doesn't allow my heart work to be felt and recognized, and
Yeah.
I'm a ooey gooey girl. If it doesn't feel ooey and gooey anymore,
Mm-hmm.
it's time for me to go.
That's right.
That's right.
I
Y'all
love
ooey gooey
that.
girls. I'm bottom line.
And I
See,
love
what I loved about the
that.
challenges that I faced at my full time job when I did have it was I liked learning new processes in order to optimize them.
Absolutely.
Everything that I
Mm.
put my hands on that I learned over the years that I was there, I made better.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
at the end of the day, I was in a support role for the company that we worked in, and everybody knows support staff, even though the company can't function without them, typically get paid the least.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
right.
On top of that, we had
Mm-hmm.
leaders that would intentionally hold people down, and by the end, it used to frustrate me, but by the end, I had taken it upon myself to show up early
Mm.
and leave on time,
That's
not
right.
invest too much emotions into what was
Mm.
going on. Because at the end of the
Mm.
day, that's not my company.
That's right.
I reserve
Okay.
my emotions and my discipline and my consistency that I still show on the job,
Mm-hmm.
because once I hone those habits, I know I can easily plug them into my own stuff.
Come on,
Okay.
I
Brandy.
didn't show up early and display different leadership skills early on that I didn't even know that I had at the time. But when I began reading personal development books and my
Mm-hmm.
mindset started shifting, my attitude started affecting other people around me. There were
Mm.
certain things that at one point in time I would probably literally scream on people about.
Yeah.
But I had gotten to a point that I would still address the issue, but I'd address it in a direct, assertive, and non profanity laced way. I might cuss
That's
my
right.
ass off now, but I still know how professional demeanor goes. So, all those things I learned focusing on personal development. It took
That's right.
2 solid years of personal development for my mind shift to start changing to a point that started helping me not
Mm.
only in my home life, but also in
Mm.
work life.
Yeah.
Repeat of the traditional job.
You did the
Oh,
work.
yes,
You
she
did
did.
the work.
That's right. But you heard her say, right, that she showed up early,
That's
right?
right.
She was still in it. You guys got to think about this, right? She was still
That's
in
right.
it up until the day she left, right? So she kept improving herself, right? Both personally and professionally
Right.
before leaving the job and
It's a funny story
remaining
in itself.
remaining dedicated to what she was doing
I love it.
in her career until she decided to walk out the door. So I think
Don't
that
diminish.
Oh,
yeah.
I was on a countdown that
That's
most
right.
people didn't even know about at work, okay? So here's what happened. My
Mhm.
mother actually had cancer at the time.
Mm,
She had colorectal cancer. And
mm,
the whole time that she was going through treatment and everything, I'd maybe taken 5 or 6 days off throughout
mhm,
the whole process. There was one solid week that I needed to be out because my mom had a surgery that she needed a lot of help after.
mhm.
So I was gone for a week. When I came back, they had basically demoted me.
Wow.
So I let my manager know. I was like, hey, this job that you just put me in, I no longer need a laptop. I'm going to go ahead and turn it in because I don't need it now. I have a desk computer. He's like, basically told me, if you turn in your laptop, you can turn in your 2-week notice. What you didn't know was I was already working on stepping on out of here anyway. So the only thing I did was call my husband, told him what happened. He said, shit, go ahead and put in your 2-week notice.
All right. Kudos to the husband too
Right.
for saying just go, just leave. We
That's
want to say
right.
hey to Courtney out there Courtney
Thank
is
you.
always supporting us. We love you, Courtney. Thank you for joining us
And Kiki P.
tonight.
I just said I was gonna say, wow, Kiki P is out there. She's out
Kiki
there
P.
often. Thank you for
Yes,
watching.
thank you, Kiki P. We love you too. Thank you
Yeah.
for joining us. Yes, yes, yes. She's a little quiet storm there. So, yes, thank you. So, you guys, if you are just tuning in, we are talking about time to grow or time to go when it comes to your employment. And we're just talking about a lot of the different things that you should be setting up before you decide to leave your job. All right. We talked a little bit about having a plan, honing your skills, getting the right resources, certification and skills and experience and knowledge that you need to leave. Make sure that your finances are in order. And we talked about passion, thinking about doing things that are following your passion and purpose. But I wanted to touch on something that Shima mentioned earlier because this came up for me. And I started writing, following one of my coaches, I started writing sticky notes about things that were coming to my head as I was still working. And I said, life 2.0 has to be hard work. Has to be. So that's
Mm.
the sticky that sits on my board now. Life 2.0 has to be hard work. So it had to be something that was meaningful because what kept coming up for me in my job was I'm not doing anything that's helping or impacting anybody else in a positive way. All I
Absolutely.
was doing where I was and in the industry that I was in was helping rich people get richer, right? And part of that support staff that Brandy talked about, right? So watching their money grow, having no control over that, and mine not going anywhere to the point where in the industry that I was in, they stopped giving raises. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
industry.
Yeah.
So particularly, it happened before COVID, so they really can't use COVID as an excuse. But once
Right.
COVID happened, they tried to justify it even more. So here I am watching people's money grow and not even seeing them giving back or making a real impact with that money.
Mm.
And then having
Mm.
to watch this and noting that even in my own life with what I was doing, I wasn't really helping anybody. So Life 2.0 had to be hard work for me. So I just wanted to mention that too, because Shima brought that up as well. If it doesn't fit into her heart space, what are you doing?
I don't do it. I
Right.
don't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. What are you doing?
And
So do
anything
something
that
that,
interferes
yeah.
with that. And I'm
Mhm.
not, you don't ever jump out of the pan into the fire. You don't do
Mhm.
that. But
Mhm.
anything that interferes with what you have recognized
Yeah.
as your purpose and
Yeah.
your hard work, you got to make a hard decision.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, listen, I'll say it all the time. I like having that money deposited into my check every twice a month.
Mhm.
But the moment I have to decide on the
Mhm.
integrity that I bring,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I have to decide on
Mm.
whether or not I'm going to do what God wants me to do,
Mhm.
whether or not I still get to give to this world
Mhm.
and learn. And y'all know my three mantras. I want to love more every day. I want to learn more every day. And I want to
Mhm.
teach more every day.
Yeah, that's so
Anything
good.
that starts to impede those things that I have identified
Mhm.
through creating a life plan and learning myself
Mhm.
has to be put on that same decide that balancing scale.
Yeah.
That's
You have to
Mm-hmm.
decide.
that's
And
right. And and one of the other things that I was looking up and they mentioned is if your ethics are being compromised, and and,
absolutely.
Mm.
and
That
and
part.
again knowing your own values. The conversation tonight is time to go or time
Mhm.
to grow. And there's a growth season. I'm a big believer in
Mhm.
seasons of our lives, and we need to
Yes.
recognize what season we're in.
Yeah.
And if you're in the season of growing,
Mm.
And do
you
it
need
the
to grow.
right way.
Yeah.
You need to identify who you are. If you don't know your values, then you need to learn them. You
Yeah.
need to understand them. If you don't know your passions, you need to discover them. If
Yeah.
you don't know what you like or what you don't like, you need to figure that out. If
Yeah.
you don't know, like Brandy said, what is the financial commitment that needs to be made in
Right.
the future, you need to now establish what that is.
Yeah.
The time to grow should
Yes.
always precede the time to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Right.
love that.
I
I
love
love
And
that.
when you and when you're there, even if it's unexpected, because you should be already working on these things.
That's right.
So that when it happens, like Brandy said, she came back unexpectedly.
Right.
They had put her in a position to leave.
Mhm.
But she had been growing all of the season before. So that when it was time to go, the growth had already happened.
Yeah,
Right.
come on.
Because if you make somebody choose between being available for their family versus what you need because you set yourself up for failure, they're always going to do the thing you least expect.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
will tell you that one of the things that led to me deciding not to even, besides what happened in that instance, I spent years watching them put people in positions because of who they knew, who they were related to, and the entire department started going south.
Integrity.
Yeah.
And a majority of those clowns have still they still keep it afloat, but it doesn't function the way that it could if they hadn't ran off the people that actually knew how everything was supposed to work and were able to think on a higher level to improve upon it.
Yeah. Oof.
And that speaks exactly to what she said. If you got to figure out what your values are, or even if you know what they are, revisit them. Revisit all those things that you know come from you and come good to others. That you give to others.
Yeah.
Revisit them.
Yeah.
And keep them in the forefront of your mind. Like Tracy, Miss Coach will tell you, Reset Coach will tell you, you have to affirm yourself.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm smart. I'm intelligent. I'm this. I'm that. Okay. I'm not gonna forget those things because I'm leaving. Not only am I good, I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I'm also leaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
And be sure to run circles around you when I'm gone.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know, Shima, you keep talking about, you know, your three, right? Love, learn, and teach, right? And I just wanted to highlight, because you already said it, but it just keeps playing in my head. Wherever you are, with whatever you are doing, you can do that. So it doesn't mean that you have to leave an employer to do that. But when it compromises who you are with wherever you are, if it compromises who you are and those values, those core values that she just mentioned for herself, if it compromises her core values, that's when it's time to grow to go, right? Because you heard Melissa and Brandy just say you have to grow to go. You can't just go, right? But if you recognize that it starts to compromise, and there's going to be something deep down, let me tell you, this hits the root of you. This is not just on the surface. This will hit the root of you. And when it starts to hit you on the inside and you realize that you are being compromised, your innermost self is being compromised, it is time to grow to go, you guys. I wanted to just ask Courtney a question too, because he just mentioned here, I want to pull this back up. He's saying he appreciates this conversation and literally just transitioning back to an office to set up his own business, right? While he's building a business. So I wanted to know, Courtney, if you have time, if you're still out there, just to tell us what made you decide to go back into the business while you are building, because I'm just curious about that, right? But I just wanted to say, in recognizing what he just said, he obviously knows what he needs, right? Because he's been building a business. He is one of the best people I know, one of the most passionate people about health and wellness, and he builds other people up. He is so good at it. He's just like Brandy. He is a connector. He's so good at it, right? So you guys, what made Courtney decide to go back? Because if you need to go back to something, if you need to go back to an employer so that you can grow to go again, but to build your business, that is okay too. Don't think because you transitioned out the first time that, you know, you may not need to go back to help build yourself up. It's okay. Whatever works best for you and what you are doing, do it. Forget what other people are saying. I know Shima was talking earlier about entrepreneurship is not for everybody. No, what I want to say to that as an extension of that is everybody else's story is not your story. So when you hear entrepreneurs that are out there and they're speaking it, first of all, being an entrepreneur is not easy. I can tell you this, I just started it full time. It is not easy, right? So if you
No.
have to get additional resources to help your dream, to help your passion, to help your purpose, go out there and get it. It's okay. Your story does
That's
not have to look like anybody else's out there. So I appreciate Courtney for being transparent and brave enough to say,
Absolutely.
I went back to a job to support my business,
That's
right?
right.
right.
Obviously, he had already left
I
and
thought
then
you
now
were getting
going
ready.
back to something so he can build what he's doing. So thank you for that
Absolutely.
transparency and that courage, because a lot of times when you hear certain entrepreneurs out there, they act as if, you should not go back to a job ever
Right.
again. And that is not the case. You have to do what works best for you. Do not listen to some of those
Right.
cocky stories out there, because life is not easy, and this walk is not easy. So do what
It's
you
not.
need to do that works best for you and your family. So I wanted to mention that as well. And I'm
That's
glad that he
And
put
you
that up
and
there.
you will hit the cusp of that dream fund
Mm-hmm.
that we all have
Right.
learned and we
Yeah.
all have talked about.
Yeah.
Listen, I go back again to my current job.
Mm-hmm.
It funds the things that I want to do.
Yeah.
It allows me not only to showcase my talents,
Mm-hmm.
but it allows me the time to go to Africa with
Mm-hmm.
mentees.
Mm-hmm.
It allows me the time to
good.
mentor, to
Yes.
coach.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
allows me the opportunity to
Yeah.
meet other people, to encourage other people.
Yeah.
So it funds my dream.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
right.
I want to
until
be,
it doesn't,
Yeah.
it works
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
and that's something I want to express as well. Just because I've been without a traditional job for the last 4 years doesn't mean I won't step into a role for a certain amount of time with a plan
Absolutely.
if there is a specific purpose that I'm going to use those funds for.
That's
If I need to
right.
step into a job for 2 or 3 years to make sure I don't need to worry about student loans from there on out, I will do that.
That's right.
Plan.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's part of the
I
plan.
love it.
Yeah, I thought that was worth mentioning. And you said dream funder, right? I can remember being frustrated on my job, and a young lady, Lori Crosby, she used to always say to me, "It's your dream funder. Don't worry about it. It's just your dream
Yeah.
funder." So every time I got frustrated, I would think about Lori, and then you just brought that up. It's your dream
Yeah.
funder. So
And
there's
I
nothing
think
wrong with that.
And I think, and I love the point, going doesn't mean going into entrepreneurship. It may be going to the next corporate job.
That's right.
I think about my daughter who's living her dream through a corporation. She's doing what she loves.
That's right.
Many people live every day working for somebody and they're living out their dreams.
That's
So
right.
this is not about trying to open up a business or something. It's whatever the going, where you going to.
That's right.
And that's the understanding that you need to come to. Where are you going to? Where do you want to go to? One of the things I came to the place I'm at now. I made a conscious decision to come there because I wanted to influence.
Yeah.
I wanted to change. I wanted to make a difference. And sometimes linking up with the right corporate partner is the best way to do that.
That's
So
right.
it's about finding those and it's a partnership. It's about finding those great places to be at so that you can fulfill that passion, so that you can fulfill that dream and live it out.
That's right.
So again, where are you going to is the answer. It's the question. It's the question.
That's right. I love that. And your dream may be that you want to travel the world, and your job affords you the opportunity to do so. You have the right vacation time with the right income.
I claim it.
That's right. And if that's your dream, there is nothing wrong with that. Go out there and fulfill whatever it is that you want to do. So we're going to show a commercial again, and then we're going to come back and wrap this up. As always, my beautiful ladies of FEM Talk, this has been a great conversation as usual. All right, so here we go. Hey, and we are back. You guys have
Can
been
I just say
watching us
something very
tonight.
quickly?
Yes.
Very quickly. I want to say thank you. First of all, I say thank you to my bestie and my girls here on FEM Talk. They're so super, super, super supportive. Um, constantly encouraging. And something Melissa says all the time about that type of work is not for everybody. I didn't even think it was for me.
Mm,
But I am a person that is willing to do anything. So if you ask me, and I'm a very loyal person, I'm going to try my best and do it. And I did it once, and now it has turned into something I absolutely love. I just want to say how surprised I am every time it comes on, because not surprised, it's heartfelt. And I
mm,
thank all of you for words, for donations, for just watching it. Brandy
mm,
created it. It's amazing. I absolutely
mhm.
love her. And I don't get a chance to say thank you often, because I'm sitting, when it comes out, I'm like, trying not to, cry, because that's what I do all the time. But I absolutely appreciate your help. I appreciate your support. I solicit your prayers. That organization is my heart work. Women
Mhm,
Empowered. I love it. It has taught
mhm.
me and so many women on this screen how to do these things that we do, how to live this life that we live. And
Yeah.
I'm super, super appreciative, and even more appreciative that you trust me with your donations and
Mhm,
your words and your encouragement and your love.
mhm.
I just appreciate it, and I just love seeing it. Every time I see it, I love it. And I thank all of you, everybody, for everything, for anything. Keep me in your prayers. Keep those girls, those 10, 25-year olds
Yeah.
you get ready to hang out with in Africa. Keep them in your prayers, and just keep loving on people. Just keep loving on people. And I just wanted to
Yeah.
say that. Didn't want to take it away from the topic, but every time I see it, it does something to me. Thank you.
Well, I think, first of all, thank you for pouring out your heart, because that's why you're going to Africa. That is just why, because of who you are. So those girls are going to be richly blessed by you. I know they have been already, because
I
you
hope
guys need
so.
to know. You guys need to know that they started this process, almost tell us like a year ago, right? About a
Mhm.
Oh,
year
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah, so they've already
Well,
started.
almost over 2 years now, because COVID hit us.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, we have 9 other mentors. Our
Mhm,
executive mentor. We
mhm,
have 10 girls here. We have 10 girls in Kenya. They've
mhm,
never met in person.
mhm.
That
Mm.
is the listen, if I had to go with a selfish note, I cannot wait for those USA mentees to meet those Kenyan mentees. I just want to see it. I want to watch it. I'm gonna be right there. Loving it.
It's
I
like
cannot
Michelle
wait.
Hardy, right?
Yes, I'm gonna eat it up, because it's just gonna be, you talk about culture,
Beautiful.
and
Yeah,
cultures meeting culture, and
yeah,
understanding culture, and
yeah,
learning and yearning and gleaning from each other.
yeah,
I cannot wait. It's almost, like I said, it's almost selfish, because
yeah,
I get to see it. I
yeah.
get to be a part of it.
Mm.
I just love it. I
You
That's
know
love it.
what I
oh.
love about what you're doing, Shima? It's like bringing, like you said, two things together.
Mm,
African culture is not like us.
mhm,
We have a lot of
Nothing.
that every man for himself mentality. They have that everyone needs each other mentality. But
mm,
we have the piece that's necessary to make something of what you believe is nothing because you
yeah,
don't know what you're looking at.
yeah,
But if you have the mind to do it, you can generate income, make connections, and make a big impact that you never thought you could have with
On
a
this world.
few simple
Absolutely.
bits of information that you implement.
Mm.
That's
And
right.
that's what you guys are bringing together. And that's what I
yeah,
absolutely love about the mission you guys are on with the Women Empowerment
yeah,
Network that you're a part of. So, y'all definitely pull
Love
up
it.
those prayers.
Love
Shiva
yeah,
needs them. Those ladies in
it.
Africa need them. And our
Absolutely.
ladies here, their mentees here need them as well.
yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
And
Absolutely.
when you talk about like bringing those two worlds together, it'll be good to. I can't wait to see like pictures and for you to tell the stories about what's happening there because of what
Yeah.
Brandy and you were just talking about, like bringing those two worlds together and seeing what each group is learning one from the other, right? You know
Yes.
what's going to open up from all of that. You know what I mean? So I can't wait to hear the stories, and you're going to have to share pictures and stories with us here on
Yes,
FEM Talk
I
because I
am.
know because we're doing this, right? You're taking this journey on FEM Talk. I know the people out there are going to want to hear about this too. But what I was
Absolutely.
going to say too, because of what you're doing, right? The passion that you just poured out just now, man, like I just can't wait to see everything that's going to happen. And it just so happens that that's what we're talking about next week. So you said I didn't want to take away from this, but you just segued
I
right
know.
into passion.
You
We're
set
going to
us up perfectly.
Yes.
exactly. So listen, God doesn't make any mistakes, you guys.
That's
So
right.
listen, here we go. Finding your passion is coming up next week, and you heard Shima talking about hers tonight. So this is
Yeah.
what you call alignment. This is what I love. Love what happens, right? You just
Yeah.
gotta let things kind of go the way they're
For
supposed
sure.
to go, right? So God put something on Shima's heart tonight, and she wanted to just pour out her passion and her appreciation too. You heard it there, her appreciation for everything that's
Absolutely.
happening right now and what she's about to embark on. So that was just a perfect segue into next week. And we just thank you for sharing your heart, you guys. We were talking
Always.
tonight
Always.
about time to grow and time to go. So you guys, this has been another wonderful episode of FEM Talk. Make sure that you go on to, I'm just going to share your link again. All right, because we have been talking about Shima's efforts going to Kenya. Make sure that you go on to www.wenextshima.com and give whatever it is that you can give
Doesn't
to
matter.
support her in these efforts. No donation is too small, you guys. Okay. If you are pouring from your heart, nothing is too small. All right. So we thank you guys for being here on another episode of FEM Talk. We have so much fun on this show, and we are so glad
Me
that you guys had
too.
the opportunity to join us. I'm going to give you the site again for Brandy's wonderful gadget there, tinyurl.com. More USB ports. All right, you guys go on and get what you need. You'll hear more from the connector about all the good gadgets that are going to help make the life
Yay.
run so efficiently. And next week, as you heard it, we have the wonderful Melissa Girl Bossed Up coming to do her segment next week. So we can't wait for that as well. All of the ladies here are going to be doing their own segments to highlight their own passions and purpose and what they do. So we're excited for that. We love you guys. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Great show, guys.